If reports from the last days are to be believed, we're heading into election season in Israel. And one of the things we see, as we often see in elections in Israel, is parties trying to capture the center of the Israeli political map. We've seen many centrist parties over the years in Israeli elections. Very often they've failed to have staying power, and this time around too, we have a number of parties vying for the Israeli center. And I think the capacity of these parties to succeed depends very much on them being able to articulate the ideology and the convictions of being in the middle in Israel, of being a centrist. There's an open question, I think, as to whether the middle in Israel is simply what is left after the different extremist or more partisan groups pull in one direction or another. It's similar to the discussion about what the nature of Israeli public space is in general. Is the public space in Israel simply what is left after the battles between different groups, secular and religious, right-wing and left-wing? Or does it have its own character? Does it have its own set of core beliefs that are the beliefs which an Israeli centrist or pragmatist holds, beliefs that have staying power and political weight? And the goal, I think, for any of these parties who are trying to target the center in Israel is to really try to define the center, not as simply someone without strong convictions, or those Israelis without strong convictions in one direction or another, but as an ideology in itself. A group within Israel who sees the validity of the different arguments and insists on being in the center, insists on it as a matter of ideology, not as simply a fallback because they haven't been convinced in one direction or another. To do that, I think, is to create a kind of moral center in Israel and to tap into, I think, also a very Jewish idea that is capable of seeing the values in competing arguments and embracing the kind of tension between them, the ambivalence between them, as a value in and of itself. That will be the challenge, I think, for centrist parties in Israel, and very much a challenge for Israeli society. Can we build an Israeli middle, an Israeli center, with a moral foundation and with conviction that tells Israelis that their conviction is to actually be in the center and not be pulled in one direction or the other?